Hey guys, how's it going? So the question comes up, what should I do after college? And answering this question requires kind of a multi-dimensional answer. And what I'm going to tell you is going to be controversial because this goes beyond the conventional wisdom. I think conventional wisdom really leaves out some really important things and important skills and abilities that if you haven't developed just yet, you need to develop them. They're mandatory for a happy, healthy life full of joy and fulfillment. So what should you do after college? What should I do after graduation? They seem like doing questions, right? But they're actually more related to your state of being. Like, how are you at being? And if this sounds esoteric or strange to you, I'd like to ask you to hang on, hear me through for 5 minutes, and I'll explain it step by step how this breaks down, how this works. So we all carry an emotional body. This emotional body here, we were born with it. If you look and hang out with a little baby, right? Imagine how they are. They're totally in the state of being. They're not doing, they're not thinking, they're just being. And that being energy that the little baby projects, and the baby reacts with you. If they're a few months old, they can react with you a little bit, they can play with you, they can giggle and laugh and smile. That's a state of pure being. And sometimes, depending on our childhood and our upbringing and kind of random luck, right, that state of being gets a little bit covered up with with our habits of doing. Now, doing is important, and of course we love to do. Doing is a healthy process, but how that doing is connected to our being is really important. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense, but we'll break it down a bit. So when I'm in a state of being, I'm in touch with my emotional body and the messages that it's sending me. So it might be trying to protect me from harm. If it hears some crashing noise outside, my adrenaline system will jump and kick me into gear if there's something dangerous so I can run and protect myself. Or if I need to help the little kids around and protect them from danger, I'm able to do that. It also is there to show us opportunities and help us tune in to our soul, our spirit, our heart, and see what's really deeply buried in our subconscious that we really want to connect with in the world. Things that we want to have joy with, things that we want to experience, things that we want to share with other people. So that emotional body connection is available to us. So maybe reflect on the time when you were a young kid and you had this really good connection with your spirit. Do you have that connection today? So why is that important? When you're asking a question like, what should I do after college? What should I do after graduating? These mundane questions of doing need that connection with being, because when you have that connection with being, it's giving you messages, it's giving you tips, it's giving you signals for things you should check out, things you should investigate, things you might want to write about or draw or sing about, however you like to express yourself. So let's break it down a little bit. The first part is that connection with the self, the connection with the emotional body, and listening to those messages, whatever they are, and just briefly, whenever the messages come up, to take a moment to listen to them, maybe write them down and keep them in context. They're just messages. The next step to know is that depending how your experience is with this so far, you may or may not be well in tune with the system. So if the system is highly tuned and finely tuned, it'll give you really accurate, really good messages that are really useful that you can follow up on with healthy actions, with healthy consideration. If the system is currently out of tune for you, you might notice the messages are extreme or out of whack, or when you try following what they're asking you to do, they don't give you good results. So if you notice that, it's time to tune in your emotional system. And there's a few different ways we can do that we'll talk about in a bit. The next part is going to be, after you've tuned into all those messages and you're listening to them, is to take a few months, literally 2 weeks to 2 months, to write all these things down. So pose yourself the question, what should I do after college? What should I do after graduation? Get into that state of being and see what comes up. And if this sounds esoteric, don't worry about it. This is practical. When you translate this into practical steps, I hope it's going to be really helpful and really powerful for you to connect with yourself and connect with the deep desires and needs and wants inside of you. So I want you to start writing all those things down that you want to do. Be in connection with your spirit. Experience a state of being. Listen to your emotional body. Maybe watch a couple more videos on the topic. Just drop me a comment below. Ask me your questions. How is this information for you? What are you going through right now? And how can we help you get to the next level with this stuff, because it's kind of complicated, right? There's a lot of things interacting at the same time. You know, emotional body, listening to messages, being in tune with yourself, being in a state of being, and translating that into practical, healthy actions of doing that are reflective of who you are in a person and that bring you joy, happiness, and fulfillment for the long term. So if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you can get notified of the next video. And I'm happy to answer your questions and shoot a video for you on any questions you might have. So I hope you're enjoying a wonderful, sunny, happy, and healthy day, and wish you a powerful and productive week. I'll see you later.